Apache 1-6 to control, we have eyes on an unidentified object, over.
Roger, Viper 2 confirmed. Does the object appear artificial?
Negative, sir. The structure is smooth, no trace of a rotor, no trace of propulsion heat.
Still think that raid was just politics? Think again. Rising UFO sightings from Venezuela to Antarctica might be the cover-up they don't want you to see. And now, all eyes are on Greenland, where strange activity and rumors of hidden bases suggest those lights in the sky could be something far bigger. Now, although the US President Donald Trump would justify taking control of Greenland due to its strategic importance, there are plenty of others that were hidden from the public, starting from its multi-trillion-dollar worth of minerals and natural resources to evidence citing a possible host for secret UFO bases. A rumored theory of one of the reasons why Trump wants Greenland is that it's where military white hats meet with the Galactic Federation. The possibility of this being for real was discussed by an Australian investigative journalist, Ross Coulthart, who had a guest during a show who presented a claim along with the evidence.
So he was seeing a light.
That there have been numerous sightings of brightly lit UFOs in Greenland and its possible connection to Trump.
I got contacted by a now former Greenlandic pilot, and he told me about his own very remarkable UFO encounter during a landing with a helicopter in Narsarsuaq.
So he was seeing a light. Just a light, or was it a solid object?
That was my interpretation of it, was that it was a solid object, an oval-shaped object, very luminous, hanging near the edge of some clouds. Quite big, as he told me, and suddenly it just disappeared, and his colleagues saw it as well. I think that the primary focus for the space base up to monitor what comes in and out of our atmosphere. And I know that you have spoken with his son, Donald Trump Jr., right? So I know he's highly interested in UFO subject, and who knows, he might be privy to more information about what's actually going on than we are. And I think that if you look at, I think actually the Arctic is one of the biggest hotspots, especially because it is so remote up there.
Let's have a look at this incredible imagery that you've obtained. I mean, it's some of the best UFO video I've seen in a while. Here we go.
Hold up! Wow! Hold da op! Respekt for den der.
Let's look at the debunking arguments. I mean, obviously you're near an airport. Could it be an approaching aircraft? And could it be that we were mistaking a landing light from an approaching aircraft?
I'm also a very skeptical person, even though I'm interested in this subject. I think you need to be skeptical, but there's like being skeptic, but there's also being unreasonable skeptic. I've been there. There's nothing up there. They think that that's behind the ice here, or the mountain. That's the ice cap. There's nothing else but ice.
Apart from this, there were additionally many UFO incidents that happened in the undisclosed locations of Greenland, which were shadow banned from social media, like the crash site that a small number of bystanders witnessed. But authorities soon after seized all media evidence apart from this one clip that leaked out. Another piece of evidence that would close off this theory was that of a UFO that was sighted in an urban location somewhere in Greenland on the 28th of April 2025, after it woke up residents. It had the entire night sky lit up around midnight, along with its loud sound that looked nothing like propulsion. Rather, it was up to something huge and concerning. Venezuela raid. While there are many theories and speculations on social media about what or how the U.S. Special Forces were able to grab Maduro with a brief and well-planned operation, there are, however, reports of technology, weaponry, and aircraft that were used to be far too advanced for even what the U.S. military has. One of the close bodyguards of Maduro, while keeping his identity hidden, shared that on the day of the operation, every radar system got shut down without any explanation, with dozens of unidentified flying objects objects seen flying over that were too big to be drones and too small to be actual aircrafts. He went on to claim that although the troops were heavily outnumbered, they deployed what he described as an alien arsenal technology that appeared reverse-engineered and far beyond anything publicly known. According to him, the device used a form of advanced microwave or sound-based energy.
The Americans had some kind of sonic shock boom that was sent out, and everybody immediately started bleeding profusely out of their nose. They couldn't even gather themselves because whatever was sent at them made them fall to their knees and vomit blood out of their mouth and out of their noses,
emitting an intense wave that immediately incapacitated the enemy. The effect was devastating. Many of his comrades began vomiting, completely disoriented, and were left unable to move or function, as if their bodies had temporarily shut down under the overwhelming force of the weapon. This theory was further confirmed by Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Historic and incredibly successful military operation conducted by our United States military. The world witnessed last week. The skill, the might of the United States military and our country, of this president, is on full display to the rest of the world.
Who appeared to validate reports that U.S. troops used advanced technology during the operation, allegedly causing Venezuelan soldiers to bleed, vomit, and become incapacitated as forces moved in. Leaked extraterritorial evidence. In recent decades, leaked videos and images have hinted at extraterrestrial bases around the world. A retired U.S. Naval Special Warfare officer, speaking anonymously.
At that time, my rank was First Lieutenant Commander, Naval Special Operations.
Claimed he entered one and said many are located in Antarctica to allow so-called white hats to carry out missions.
Top of the first structure that we entered, there was almost 18 feet poking from the ice. The rest of it was hidden under the ice. Each door was the same, anywhere from 18 feet thick to around 30 feet thick. The outside temperature was at least 40 degrees below zero. Once you stepped inside these structures, the temperature was an ambient 68 to 72 degrees.
Around the same time, a clip shared on Twitter showed a low-flying military aircraft over Antarctica, allegedly revealing massive pyramids below, where, later in the clip, a view from the group is also observable. Then fast forward to 2014, when a Russian spy satellite that passed over the Antarctic mountains captured these stunning megalithic buildings in Antarctica. It included a city, along with a huge entrance in a mountain in Antarctica located exactly at these coordinates. Images of some of these very sensitive locations that were shared were later blacked out in Google Earth and Google Maps. The viral emergence of the oncoming 3I Atlas, which at first was labeled to be an alien ship that was to come to the Earth, but later was reclassified to be just a comet that would just be passing the Earth. It had a surge of UFO sightings in its wake as it passed over the Earth, one of which was filmed by a local in Hangzhou, China. Another piece of footage was filmed by a drone pilot who unknowingly came across what appeared to be a secret UFO base. At the time of landing, a rocky mountain seemed to open up, allowing several unknown aircraft to enter. This discovery shocked both ufologists and skeptics, raising questions about whether it was a secret government facility or something engineered by extraterrestrial beings. Vanishing saucer. During an exploration tour via helicopter, one of the tourists who was filming the entire ride captured something unbelievable. Among the crop fields as they were passing by at a low altitude, they noticed a gigantic saucer that had landed in the middle of nowhere, and then within seconds, it vanished as if it had never existed. According to the source, it had no audible sound and was never seen again. Was it truly a UFO, secret technology they don't want us to see, or simply some kind of visual glitch? Caracas ET incident. A story of an ET encounter was made and reported on the Alan Douglas show that further solidifies the stance that aliens do inhabit in Venezuela. In late November 1954, near Petare, just outside Caracas, two truck drivers, Gustavo Gonzalez and Jose Ponce, had a close encounter while they were on their routine run.
Well, these two fellows were in the vegetable business. They get in their truck. They have a new truck. And they'd get in this truck and go out to a farming community of Petares. which is just outside Caracas. They'd go out there and load up with the vegetables for the market. On this particular morning, beautiful residential section of Caracas, and they noticed this glowing lighted thing over the road, 4 or 5 feet above the road. They got to within about 50 or 60 feet of it with their truck, and their engine died on the truck, and their lights went out. All they could see was this brightly lighted thing motionless there above the street.
As they decided to investigate, what followed next was unbelievable.
The two of them got out of the truck and walked slowly to determine what it was. They had never seen anything like it before. Suddenly, they told police they found themselves set upon by some small man-like creatures, and one of these men said that he was knocked down, and he got to his knee. He was between this creature and the craft, or the UFO. The creature was evidently trying to get by him or get around him to get to the craft. But he thought it was attacking him, and it may have been. At any rate, he pulled his knife. Small man-like creature made a lunge at him. He stabbed at it with the knife, and he tried to stab it in the shoulder. He said he might as well have stabbed a rock.
2 more similar beings appeared, and one emitted a bright light that temporarily blinded Gonzalez. The 3 creatures then returned to their craft, which swiftly lifted off and disappeared. Both men reported the encounter to police and were found shaken but sober, and a local doctor later confirmed he had witnessed part of the event. Airplane abduction. Bystanders in Kasimiut, Greenland, were shocked to see a gigantic UFO mothership that not only appeared out of the blue, but also seemed to be holding a passenger plane as its hostage. The plane, despite its size and weight, was firmly held by the mothership that was slowly spinning as it was being taken away. With the lights of the plane being completely turned off, raised the possibility that it was empty, and the extraterrestrials were after the plane, and not a human or humans that could have been inside. Taxiing saucer. An old clip showing a massive UFO that seemingly had landed at a U.S. Air Force base in Nevada was leaked by an unknown source, though not much details about it were shared, but was filmed from several angles at a short span from both inside and outside the hangar by the source to maintain anonymity. It was placed in the hangar either for some type of maintenance, repairs, if not just ground services that were attending to it like any other aircraft that had just landed. Extraterrestrial meetup. Very recently, an insider from Area 51 leaked classified footage of what he described as a meeting between aliens and humans. The meeting started as soon as extraterrestrials stepped out of a large, low-flying UFO meeting with top military generals and scientists. According to the source, the agenda of the meeting was not unknown, but according to rumors, it was believed that there was some type of transfer of technology deal being discussed with figures taller than humans, which shows clear proof that the government is indeed secretly in talks with extraterrestrials. Egg-shaped UAP. A U.S. Air Force veteran recently came forward with footage from a mysterious recovery mission.
I was a helicopter pilot. I operate with 150 foot to 200 foot. I got within 150 feet of this object.
The video captures a helicopter extracting a large egg-shaped object nearly 20 feet long from an undisclosed location. The craft looked nothing like known human technology and showed no visible means of propulsion, immediately sparking intrigue. As the footage spread online, the Pentagon's UAP task force reportedly intervened, with claims emerging that the object was of non-human origin. The revelation fueled intense speculation, raising the question of whether this could be evidence that extraterrestrials visited Earth long ago and left behind advanced technology. Unidentified crash retrieval. Forensic investigators, after discovering the crash site of a small private plane in the Arizona desert on January 15, 2026, also uncovered debris believed to be from an unidentified object found alongside the wreckage. Despite an extensive search of the surrounding area, no remains of another aircraft or known flying object were located. This left the cause of the incident unexplained, fueling speculation that the plane may have collided with something unknown, possibly even a flying saucer. UFO crashed? An unknown source leaked a video of a UFO crash in Texas to a news channel.
The images circulating around the world were reportedly recorded by a U.S. Army Apache helicopter.
The footage was reportedly filmed during a training exercise on June 7th, 2025, when an Apache helicopter pilot spotted a crashed, unidentified object on the ground that immediately caught his attention.
Apache 1-6 to control, we have eyes on an unidentified object, over.
Roger, Viper 2 confirmed. Does the object appear artificial?
Negative, sir. The structure is smooth, no trace of a rotor, no trace of propulsion heat.
Though some viewers believe that it was shot down, the source shared no further details of the incident, including the location of the crash site, which was largely speculated to be on the outskirts of El Paso. UAP on horizon. A passenger on a flight that was en route from Reykjavik, Iceland to Ontario, Canada, was flying over Greenland when he spotted this. Although it was the time of sunrise, this glowing object was not the sun, but rather an object of mysterious origin that suddenly appeared. It only had a single dim light that was constantly shining, which proved it was some aerial object, but its lack of movement questioned the possibility of this being any normal object. It was later classified as an unidentified aerial phenomenon. Sudden liftoff. On December 10th, 2025, a small crew of wildlife researchers was flying over the Amazon in a helicopter when they noticed a large, dark, grayish-colored UFO that was on the ground in the middle of the dense woods. Within just a few seconds, the very saucer's ignition system started, and it was moving upwards. In the meantime, the helicopter pilots suddenly started losing control and altitude.
Command, object in sight. Black disc. Stationary in canopy clearing. Surface matte. No reflection. Stand by. Object moving. It's rising. Mayday. Mayday. We're losing altitude. Command.
And the footage abruptly stopped recording. It is unclear if the UFO was purposely using some disabling tech or if this effect was part of its activation. Suspicious aerial activity. In the mountainous area of Romania, a hiker spotted this unidentified flying object that appeared out of nowhere after descending from the sky on top of the highest mountain in that area. It hovered there for several seconds before some weird activity that started following soon after. A zoomed-in version of the video showed a hatch opening on top of the aerial object, with something that looks like a humanoid that jumped out straight towards the ground, using some type of jetpack or propulsion system. Soon after, its propulsion system was seen thrusting up before the unknown aircraft passed away at a supersonic speed. UFO firefight. This is another video that was leaked on January 8th, 2025, filmed off the coast of California in 2019, in the moments when the U.S. Navy engaged using its actual air defense arsenal. The dramatic clip showed that even the flying saucer was engaged by the Navy. The 28-second clip only showed the brief moments of rapid action in a black and white thermal camera recording. Although some flames were seen, it is unclear as to what caused this or how exactly did it come to an end. Surveying activity. The footage shows a massive, low-flying saucer hovering close to the ground in a remote, uninhabited area, seemingly scanning and exploring the landscape below. It remained suspended for several moments, methodically observing the terrain, before suddenly accelerating away at a speed far beyond known human technology. The isolation of the location suggests the craft's movements were deliberate, undisturbed by human presence. No military or defense forces responded to the sighting, adding to its mystery. Some experts speculate the UFO may have been an autonomous explorer, gathering detailed information about the land and environment before departing silently into the sky. Nevada sky intrusion. While driving through the Nevada desert, a man reported seeing a massive metallic cigar-shaped craft hovering in the distance, a rare type of UFO sighting. The object was spotted near Area 51, a highly restricted location long associated with secret military projects and extraterrestrial rumors. Witnesses claimed a strange light moved toward the craft, as if signaling an exchange or energy transfer. Moments later, the object shot straight into the sky and vanished almost instantly. The sighting reignited online speculation, with many believing the U.S. government may be cooperating with non-human entities, using the area to test advanced craft and technology beyond public knowledge. Cloud disguise. In 2013, a lone traveler in Alaska reported witnessing something extraordinary in the sky. At first, it appeared to be a massive cloud hovering above the landscape, but as it shifted, its true form became clear, a perfectly circular, disc-shaped object glowing white without reflecting sunlight. The craft made no sound and left no visible trail as it slipped silently behind a mountain range and vanished. There was no heat signature or atmospheric disturbance. Some aerospace experts speculate it may have used advanced cloaking or light-bending technology, while others believe it could be an ancient relic, deliberately operating in remote regions far from human attention. Veil entity. In 2021, researchers stationed in Antarctica reported a massive, mothership-like object hovering silently above the frozen landscape. It appeared to use dense, dark cloud cover as camouflage, blending seamlessly within the chaotic sky. At its center was a powerful glow, resembling an energy core or beam emitter, pulsing steadily through the clouds. The object remained suspended for several minutes without sound or visible movement before fading from view. Its ability to conceal itself led many to believe it was deliberately manipulating the surrounding conditions. Some theorists suggested it was an autonomous probe observing Earth from one of its most remote regions, while others speculated it was synchronizing with a larger system for unknown purposes. Highway encounter. Motorists, drivers, and bystanders, while passing on U.S. Route 21, pulled over en masse to observe a UFO sighting that appeared out in the open on January 3rd, 2026.
The whole street is up. There's a flying spaceship.
What gathered the crowd wasn't just the sudden sighting, but also the suspicious nature of the light that began appearing from the lower section of the disc-shaped craft.
Yo, look at that.
It started to create a widespread panic that it was an anti-gravity beam and was activated with the intentions of abducting Americans. According to some witnesses, this wasn't the only UFO that was around. Colossal Mothership. At a harbor in Ilulissat, Greenland, locals reported witnessing what they described as the colossal unidentified craft ever seen on March 28, 2025. The mothership randomly decided from the cloudy sky with its lights, along with the loud sound of its propulsion system, which was audible as it stopped lowering at a point and remained in a hovering mode for several minutes. Though there was no visible activity or any greater event that took place, it left everyone at the scene concerned and alarmed. Not long after, it was said to have disappeared before the clouds cleared. Triggered event. While flying over a remote region of Greenland, a pilot reported seeing a colossal unidentified craft hovering motionless above a rugged mountain range. The object appeared to be projecting a concentrated beam of energy directly into the ground below. Moments later, the surrounding terrain violently fractured, triggering what looked like a sudden eruption. The craft did not move during the event, suggesting deliberate involvement rather than coincidence, possibly harvesting energy or interacting with something buried deep beneath the surface. After circling the area briefly to confirm what he was witnessing, the pilot got back on course, being on limited fuel. Large extraterrestrial pod. 6 years ago, over the skies of Austin, Texas, gathered a large number of witnesses as they saw not on, but at least 3 large extraterrestrial objects that appeared.
No se ha ido, ahí sigue ahí.
Though one was large and the others were much smaller, like pods, they were all in some type of triangular formation, almost as if they were about to make like a portal or start something very huge and unexpected. Their shape and structure were very different and unique as compared to most of the saucer-shaped UFOs that most of us would be familiar with. Unidentified drones. In the hilly landscape area in France, several unknown small pods or drones were discovered after having mysteriously appeared. In a matter of hours, authorities arrived on the scene and cordoned off the area to keep the public away, who were on the scene minutes after the supposed crash, though there were no visible signs of this being some crash. Not much of the incident was shared by the authorities, but considering how small and slim these aircraft were, these were most likely some type of extraterrestrial drones, as they had technology far more advanced than any drones using no thrusters or propellers. UAP object. A recorder from an unspecified location in Greenland cited this very weird aerial anomaly far away in the sky. Though it looked to have a typical shape of a flying saucer, it looked like it was expanding in between openings, either some kind of radar or high-tech sensing technology of some type to scan over the area. It used the clouds and high altitude to hide itself while it was hovering, and had its entire surface glowing either by its own light or by redirecting the light of the sun. Sky Titan. In the remote expanse of Queen Maud Land, Antarctica, a lone researcher reported witnessing something beyond comprehension. High above the ice, a colossal presence appeared towering like a skyscraper in the sky, shaped with a vast, umbrella-like form that defied any known aircraft design. But the sight grew even more unsettling. One by one, smaller objects emerged from beneath it, peeling away in the same direction as if released in a deliberate sequence. The massive entity soon after vanished into the Antarctic sky, leaving behind the stunned. Was this illusion shaped by extreme conditions? Or did the frozen skies of Antarctica briefly expose a fragment of a hidden extraterritorial presence in areas with little to no human exposure? UAP sighting. Up in the night sky of Kansas, a farmer who was on a drive noticed and filmed this very weird unidentified aerial phenomenon that occurred on June 24th, 2022. At not too high an altitude, he could notice a ring of light or glowing dotted objects that, in between moments, would glow instantly bright, almost as if it were signaling something to someone. It was completely soundless the entire duration of its appearance, until it disappeared after going dark completely. Moments before that, the recording clip somehow ended abruptly. Landed visitor. A newly leaked video, claimed to come from classified archives, has stirred fresh debate among UFO researchers. The grainy clip, believed to be from the 1990s, was reportedly filmed in a remote forested area near Kangerlussuaq, Greenland. It shows a small humanoid figure climbing a ladder into a disc-shaped craft, partially concealed by trees. Seconds after the figure enters, the saucer lifts off silently and disappears beyond the tree line. The footage has circulated widely among well-known ufologists, with some suggesting it captures a real extraterrestrial encounter. UFO with legs. Another baffling case comes from Mexico City in 2015, when a tourist recorded a strange black object hovering high above the skyline. As the camera zoomed in from street level, the object became clearer, dark in color, suspended in the air, with 4 long, metallic, leg-like structures extending from its center, giving it an eerie, spider-like appearance. The footage quickly drew attention from locals, who debated whether it could be an experimental drone, an unknown aerial device, or something far more unusual. Despite years of speculation and analysis, The true nature of the object remains unexplained. Mysterious lighted ring. In a hilly, remote area of Switzerland, a remote resident, after noticing a very brightly lit ring that mysteriously appeared on the horizon. It looked like it was the ring of a portal to another dimension that was created by flames. The ring opening randomly appeared and stayed open for a couple of minutes until it gradually started dimming out, before a cloud came in the way and it disappeared. The source was witnessing the entire time and noticed nothing going in or coming out from it. Bizarre flying object. On December 22nd, 2025, over the skies of Acapulco, Mexico, this anomalous flying object appeared. Its shape and structure were so bizarre, even for a UFOs or any other flying objects ever sighted in the sky. It had thrusters at many angles as it flew by in a quite stable manner, and had a dark brown color on its top. The source attempted to get a better look at it by zooming in on it until it flew away within minutes after its appearance. Could this be some new, innovative designs of the extraterrestrials that were being put to test? Hidden in plain sight. In a small Indian town, a resident spotted something unusual atop the village's water tower. At first, it seemed to blend perfectly with the tank's lid, matching its color and shape so well that it went unnoticed. Curious, he grabbed his camera and zoomed in, revealing a shimmering, saucer-shaped craft hovering or resting, almost hidden in plain sight. The object only became visible when he noticed a subtle movement. Before he could fully process it, the craft shot off at incredible speed, vanishing into the sky. Ufologists quickly analyzed the footage, suggesting it might be a real UFO or even aliens collecting water. Later, villagers found the tank mysteriously empty. Large, hovering UFO. It was an ordinary night in Cincinnati when the sky suddenly lit up with something extraordinary, a massive circular craft, its underside glowing with pulsating white and yellow lights. It hovered silently, motionless, casting an eerie presence over the city like a scene straight from a science fiction film. Locals who witnessed it were stunned, unsure whether it was studying them or merely passing through. Speculation spread quickly. Some feared it was an alien vessel scouting for potential abductees, working in cahoots with the US military, while others thought it might simply be observing our world from afar. Crab ship. Under the cover of night in Brazil, a video surfaced showing a bizarre aerial object that defied familiar aircraft designs. It radiated intense light and released beams of shifting colors, leaving viewers stunned. Before the shock faded, a separate recording from the United States emerged.
UFO.
Capturing two unknown objects drifting across a clear daytime sky. These crafts shared similar saucer-like shapes and displayed the same color-changing glow seen in the Brazilian footage. The timing and similarities between the sightings quickly fueled speculation online. Many began questioning why such incidents appear to be occurring so close together, and why authorities have remained silent as public curiosity and concern continue to grow. Black Knight object. In outer space, radar has occasionally detected a mysterious object, a dark, wing-like shape gliding silently through the void, its edges glowing, possibly metallic. Known as the Black Knight, it has fascinated observers since the 1950s. First spotted during early International Space Station construction. Even before that, radar operators reported strange, dark shapes in orbit, sometimes hovering or moving unpredictably. Theories range from alien technology to space debris or asteroids. NASA has studied these anomalies and considered whether the sightings are connected, yet the true nature of the Black Knight remains a mystery, continuing to spark curiosity and speculation across decades of space observation. Mysterious trail. While out for a walk in Hertfordshire, a family spotted a strange flying object high in the sky. Fascinated, one of them began recording as the craft traced glowing, wavy trails across the clouds, spinning and moving with astonishing precision. Then, without warning, it shot upward and disappeared into space. The family was left in shock, struggling to make sense of what they had just witnessed.
This one's you.
Was it a secret military experiment, or could it really have been an extraterrestrial craft? The mysterious sighting has left more questions than answers, capturing the imagination of both locals and UFO enthusiasts alike. Advanced spaceship? On a clear night, an unusual phenomenon lit up the sky, a series of glowing, sharp-edged lines forming the outline of an unseen object. Observers zoomed in with cameras, but the shape remained mysterious and undefined. It hovered in place for several moments before suddenly shooting off at astonishing speed. At first glance, it could resemble a sophisticated light drone display for an event. Yet its sudden movements and otherworldly appearance left many questioning if it was something far stranger, perhaps a genuine UFO or an entirely unknown aerial phenomenon. Its brief display left witnesses both awed and unsettled. The video has definitely reached its end. I will see you again with another WOW video. Until then, you can check these other videos out for a wow dose of entertainment and knowledge.